My timing continues to be impeccable. By that I mean impeccably bad. I always do things at the wrong time, but I woke up this morning with the idea that I wanted to go to Pudu for lunch at a buffet, like an economy rice restaurant there called 68. I've only eaten there one time, but I really like the food, and it's a very, it looked like a great place to eat. I actually wish I was staying in the Pudu area of KL because, just because of that one restaurant, I'm having trouble finding places to eat here, you know, places in this neighborhood where I can eat on a regular basis. So anyway, I was all excited about going to 68. They always have a big tray of eggplant. But then I was just about to leave and I was reminded that it's the weekend. I forgot, today is Saturday. And restaurants like this tend to cater to the office crowd, people that work in that area, and they go there for lunch every day. So I think weekdays is when they have the full spread of food, and I don't know what kind of food they'll have today. So I may be going on the worst possible day, which is, as I said, my usual pattern with my impeccable timing. But it's about 3 kilometers from here to this restaurant in Pudu. I just thought I'd go for a walk. But it's also pretty hot. The sun is out in force. So this could be a pretty sweaty walk, we'll see. The other problem is, I mean, I could take the MRT to Pudu, but there's a series of MRT stations that are closed, and that entire line is disrupted. It's very complicated and confusing to travel on that line right now. And I think it actually takes longer, if you could even do it, but I think it takes longer to go by MRT than walking there. So here I am walking. And anyway, I thought as I walk along, I can tell a few stories. A few days ago, I went off on a small adventure trying to fix the keyboard of my MacBook Pro laptop. The letter T had fallen off, and it wouldn't stay in place anymore. At the very beginning, I could kind of push it back into place, and it would work for a while and then pop off again. But then it eventually reached the point where it just fell off. So I wasn't able to type anymore. So I took my laptop to Loyat Plaza up on the 4th or 5th floor. They have a series of repair shops up there. And I remember talking with some guys up there on previous trips. So I packed up my laptop, I went there, and I brought it to a couple of shops, showed them the problem, and said, you know, can I just get another letter T and snap it into place? You know, can you fix this? And they basically said no. That with that kind of laptop, the way the keyboard is designed, they said I would have to replace the entire keyboard. And that's a little bit of a difficult job, I guess. You have to take the whole thing apart, remove the motherboard to get at some connectors underneath the motherboard, take out the keyboard and put in a whole brand new keyboard. And they said it would cost between 600 and 700 ringgit. Which, yeah, it's a fair amount of money. Hello. Especially when you consider that that's not the only problem with the laptop. It also needs a new battery, needs a new Wi-Fi card. So, I mean, it's like, where do you draw the line in terms of spending money to keep something old still operational? So I don't really want to go down that path. I don't want to start pouring money into this laptop, and it's probably better just to use it as it is. And then if you're going to spend money, just get a new laptop at some point. So I was reluctant to invest. That's like $140 US, I guess. I didn't want to spend that much money. And who knows? You get a new keyboard in there. Is it as good as the original? Is it original? With my luck, it would stop working as well, and I would just be wasting my money. Anyway, so I left without doing anything. I didn't leave it there for them to work on. But then, when I got my laptop back to my hotel, I had a little bit of a brainstorm, and it started with just examining the keyboard, because I knew the letter T wouldn't click into place anymore, but I didn't know what exactly was broken. There's such tiny pieces holding each key in place that I can't see it with my naked eye. And I've developed this habit of using my smartphone in these situations, because you can use, you know, the macro lens on a smartphone, close-up lens, and take pictures of very small things. And the lens, of course, sees much more than your eyes do. So I took a photo of the back of these keys and of the space on the keyboard, and then I would just blow up those pictures, zoom in on them, and then I could start to understand how the keys work, like exactly what little plastic tabs click into other plastic tabs, and I can get an idea of how these things are supposed to work. And that's when I had the brainstorm, because even though I was looking at the letter T, I've never come this way before. This is interesting. I've been following this kind of a walkway, and then it goes into almost like a tunnel. There's stairs here and almost like a tunnel going up somewhere. Oh, look at that. I have a general idea of the direction that I'm heading, but I've never gone through this tunnel before. To see where it takes me. I had no idea this was even here. It's a popular route. All these people. I figured it out. If I continue in this direction, yeah, this tunnel takes me to Plaza Rakyat LRT station right there. And that's not where I want to go. So I think, oh no, I was gonna say I can go in this direction, but it doesn't look like I can. A guard just came down from up there, and he closed the gate behind him, and I think that's the direction I'm supposed to be going. So yeah, I gotta figure out a new route. I'm not in the mood to get into the LRT. That's the line where everything is screwed up. Yeah, I just don't want to be in the middle of all the crowds trying to figure out how to get from place to place on that line. There's all these shuttle buses you have to use, and you've got to transfer trains at different places to get around where they're doing the construction. So I'm not in the mood for that today, so I'm just going to retrace my steps, find another route. So I was saying that I was using my phone to take close-up pictures of the letter T, which I couldn't see what was broken. I couldn't tell, because I needed to compare it to a key that was still working. But now that I knew exactly how they snapped into place, I was able to pop them off as well. So I looked at the keyboard, and I found a key that was still working, still in good condition, but it was a key that I never ever used. It just had special characters on it, and I never ever used that key. So I thought, okay, I'll just pop it off, and then if I do break it, it's not a big deal. Anyway, I popped it off, and it came off no problem, because I knew how to do it by this point. And I took pictures of the back of that one and compared it to the letter T. And to be honest, that didn't help me out at all. I still couldn't see what was broken. They looked exactly the same to me. I think I needed even like a microscope in order to see where the damage was, or maybe, who knows, I couldn't figure it out. But since I had the special characters key already off, that's when I had my brainstorm that, well, I can just replace the letter T with this one, and maybe that will work. They're the exact same size. So I took that special characters key, put it into the slot for the T, how you're supposed to put it in, pressed down on it, and clicked into place perfectly. And within just a few minutes, I had fixed my keyboard. And it occurred to me, I mean, most of the time that this took for me to do was spent investigating and figuring out how to do it. But if you already know about this technique, you could do it in 60 seconds. So I'm pretty sure the guys at the computer repair shops that I went to, they would know about this technique. Of course they would. They've been working on laptops and keyboards for, for years, for their entire life. And I'm sure they know about this. So when I showed them my laptop and said, oh, the letter T has popped off, and they said, you have to replace the whole keyboard, I'm sure they could have told me, actually, all you really need to do is find a key that you don't need, pop it off and click it into place. They could do it in less than a minute and it would be done. Or they could tell me how to do it and it would have been done in less than a minute. But they did not tell me that, of course, because that means they would be losing a customer. They want me to spend $140 labor and parts to replace the whole keyboard. And they didn't want to tell me about this secret technique, which you can do in less than a minute. But now I know. So I was very pleased about that. Well, this is far from the most direct route to get to Pudu, but this is the way that I know. This is my old, well-trodden route from when I was staying in Chinatown. So I'm gonna go this way. The route that Google Maps picked out for me, I couldn't follow it because of that locked gate. Couldn't do it. I ran into a dead end, so I'm gonna go this way instead. But it's always interesting. I get to walk through Chinatown. Well, here we are at the huge construction site for my favorite building, way up there. I'm impressed every time I go by this thing. I can't help but stop and look at it for a while. It always looks to me like it's leaning over and about to fall over. Well, this walk is not turning out how I planned. The idea, really, I knew it. I mean, it's too far to go just to have lunch, but I thought it would be an interesting walk, and I just thought it'd be a pleasant stroll. I needed some exercise. I didn't realize how hot it was. I am roasting, and not there yet. I've got to get across this highway system, but the only way to get across this highway is on this pedestrian bridge, which is kind of interesting. And here we go across the walkway. There's barriers like this that I ran into all the time in the past when I was trying to ride my bicycle around Kuala Lumpur. Because as I said, you run into these quite large road systems, and there might be a way to get across on foot, a bridge like this, but it's very hard to get a bicycle across. I'm on the other side now. There's one of the apartment buildings here, and my route takes me in this direction, and then there's a pedestrian bridge that goes across the train tracks up ahead and takes you into Pudu. As I said, this is the route I would take in the past when I was living in Chinatown. It's a bit out of the way to come here from the new hotel where I'm staying, but as I said, it's kind of an interesting route to take if it wasn't quite so hot. So I'm in Pudu, more or less. I think of Pudu as being over there across the railroad tracks. I don't know if this area is Pudu or not. There are all these apartment building complexes here. And there's a big set of them over there, those yellow buildings. I don't know if they're considered part of Pudu or not. There's a big white building over here. And then just up ahead, you can see those the cranes, some big new towers, a big complex is being built over there. A brand new, modern condominium complex combined with a shopping mall, combined with fitness centers, all that kind of thing. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot more in this area soon. Ooh, check this out. I don't think I noticed this before. Like I said, I've come this way a number of times, but I don't remember seeing all these cars. Look at that. Junk, it's a junkyard basically. Huh. Man, these have seen a hard life. They've all been set on fire at one time or another, it looks like. And there's 5 more of them over there. It's like a Mad Max setting. And you know you're in a weird area when you start seeing severed limbs from mannequins. Yeah, mannequins end up in the weirdest places. And if you start seeing bits of mannequins, yeah, get out of there. It's probably not a good place to hang out. So yeah, there's this area where I am, and here's the walkway that goes across the railroad tracks. And then I'll definitely be inside Pudu proper. Ooh. Well, it's not the cleanest pedestrian overpass, as you can see. And down the other side. Another pedestrian bridge to get across. This is definitely turning into more than I bargained for. I wanted to get some exercise and stretch my legs, but I didn't have quite this much walking and climbing in mind. It wasn't supposed to be quite this difficult or quite this hot. So here we are definitely in the heart of Pudu. As I said, I don't know if that area across the tracks is technically considered part of Pudu or not, but this is Pudu. And there's the big shopping center. That's where YL Camera is located. That's why I used to come to Pudu all the time, was to visit YL Camera. And 68 restaurant is here on the corner, I think. And now we find out whether my trip here was a waste of time or not. I believe it's open. I hope it's open. I just hope they have some food left over. It's about 2 o'clock now, so lunch rush should be over, but maybe the lunch rush cleaned them out of all their food too. I'll find out in a minute. Okay, here we are at 68. Fair number of people here, but not super crowded. And check out all the food. This is what I wish was in my neighborhood where I'm staying right now. I'd have, oh, there's eggplant. Thank you. So, I have my rice. That's what I've been dreaming about. Some eggplant. Yeah, this will do, I think. Thank you. Practically the perfect restaurant for me. And this, all of this, the rice, eggplant, I don't know what that is. It might be chicken, it might be something vegetable, I'm not sure. Egg, that was 11 ringgit and 20 cents. And then you get water with ice. It's a lot of room, a lot of seating. Yeah. Even the crazy walk that I went through to get here is worth it when I look at this plate of food. I wish I could eat here every day. I was enjoying my late lunch, and then I heard some thunder, and really strong gusts of wind started to arrive, and look at that sky. My impeccable timing continues. Every time I go somewhere far from home base here in KL, I get hit with these hello, pretty crazy thunderstorms. The last night I went out for dinner, ended up at this Indian restaurant, a place I hadn't been before. I got stuck there for an hour and a half after dinner, just waiting for the rain to stop, because I didn't bring an umbrella. And I told myself, okay, bring your umbrella. But I do find when I pack up all my camera gear, my knapsack gets quite heavy. And then I think, oh, I don't want to add an umbrella to the weight. And I didn't think it was going to rain today, so once again, I didn't pack an umbrella, so I am now rushing to the Pudu station. I'm hoping I can get there before the rain hits, because one thing I've learned about tropical places, you know, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, if it looks like it's going to rain, it will rain. Like when rain clouds show up, it means it is going to rain. It's different from Canada somehow, where if it looks cloudy, it may or may not rain. But I find here, there's no if. Look at the wind gusts hitting. Yeah, Pudu station is just over there. Looking at those clouds, I don't have much time. I made it though. I'm underneath this awning right beside the LRT station. So even if it does rain now, I'm safe. I made it. Yeah. The rain just started, and my train just arrived. But I think once again I'm going to have to transfer at Hung Tuah in order to get to Masjid Jamek. But we'll see, not really sure. Yeah, everyone is doing the transfer here. Train is waiting, might be able to make it. Back in my neighborhood, and I'm staying one step ahead of the rain. This feels like a flood is on its way. But I'm just a short distance away from my hotel. So that was a successful lunch run, though, as I said at the part way through, a bit more walking than I had counted on, and a bit hotter, but man, it was good food at the end of it. Yeah, if I do that again, I'll just hop on the MRT, go there, have lunch, take the MRT back, something like that. All right, shutting down just before the rain hits. I'll see you next time.